It is just about 7 o'clock on this Friday morning.
Yeah.
Thanks for being along with us. And got a big hour coming up for you. Not only are we live streaming on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, but also we're going to talk with a former professor at the Moody Bible Institute this hour.
Yeah, Dr. Bill Marty's been there for 37 years. Now he's retired, and he wrote a book on the parables. And so he's going to talk about some of maybe the things that we don't know about them or how to look at them as we study them. And if you have a favorite parable, why not call in and share that with us this morning as God taught you something through the parables that you'd like to share with us.
That's right. Yeah, maybe you've learned something that God has shown you through a parable. We'd love to hear about it, or just a favorite parable. 800-221-9356 is our number. Here's Big Daddy Weave with The Lion and the Lamb. Morning, everybody!
So, do all of you have power now, or is there's still a lot of people in the Quad Cities without power? If you don't have power, how are you surviving, and how can we be praying for you this morning? I mean, my heart just goes out for people that are just still dealing with no power because we depend so much on power.
Yeah,
and
I can relate to it. One year in the wintertime, we were without power for 8 days.
Wow, that's a long time.
It was. It was back in what was it? 98. I think the winter of 98, and we had a huge snowstorm happen in October. So it was real wet snow, and so it just tore power lines down everywhere, and so we were without power for 8 days, and we had 4 kids, younger kids at that time, and it was cold because it was snow and everything, and so we had to all sleep in the living room around the fireplace because we didn't have any heat. And so we had a fire going in our fireplace, and we all slept around the fireplace, and yeah, it was pretty interesting. So I can sympathize with those that don't have power for long periods of time. So yeah, let us know. Let's see, Joe, we don't have power, but we have generators keeping us comfortable. Good, Joe.
Good to hear that, Joe. In fact, I was thinking yesterday, we're done with our generators because our power is back on.
Right.
But I was wondering how many people needed them and how we could be used to provide one to somebody.
Right.
But my husband reminded me how heavy those things are and that we aren't capable of lifting it.
Yeah.
That's the bad part.
I did learn one thing, and I don't have a generator, but we have made it a priority that we're saving up for one now before wintertime hits.
Yes.
And we're going to get one. But I'm going to get one that has wheels on it and a handle so that I can wheel it around. Because it would be really nice to have on our farm because we can wheel it around back and we can plug in some of the refrigerators and necessities in the house. But then we can wheel it over to the barn and we can use it for running our well pump there and the milking machine to milk the cow and goats and stuff if, we need to do that. So it'd be nice to have one with wheels on it. You can roll it around.
Definitely. You have a lot going on in the farm. You have a lot of different places you need power.
Yeah. So generator is a priority for us. That's for sure. We're going to get one.
So for those of you who went without power, what was the first thing that you thought that you just felt, oh, I really missed this?
Yeah.
Was there something like you really, really missed with not having power?
A telephone?
Telephone.
Yes.
But that's because power went out as I was starting a very important phone call.
Right.
I said the line, there's a storm, so I might lose power.
But here's the interesting thing, Jeremy. What did you have to do? This is a funny story.
I had to go into the basement and track down a decorative phone that could run off of a landline.
Yeah.
So, because I was on a landline talking to them, but because it was a cordless phone, it still needed power to transmit the wireless signal.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that part of it. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I was also a U.S. Cellular customer, and they had no signal.
Right. And that's what I was wondering,
directed them to the landline.
Okay. There you go.
I really missed being able to go into the refrigerator.
Joe has something that he missed, and I'll share that too coming up. Big Daddy Weave, that is The Lion and the Lamb on Moody Radio at 7:04. with Ken and Deb here. Good morning. And so coming up in just about 25 minutes or so, we're going to be visiting with a former Moody professor. His name is Dr. Bill Marty, and he has a great new book out called Fascinating Bible Studies on Every Parable. And so we're going to talk with him about the parables of the Bible, but maybe you have a favorite parable that you'd like to share with us, and we'd love to hear about it.
Our phone number is 800-221-9356. We'd love to hear your favorite. Mine would have to be the prodigal son.
Yeah.
That is my absolutely, I would be up for me.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I mean, every time I read that, I just think of the dad looking out and he sees his son from afar off. It gets me every time. He sees him from afar off
Sure.
and he has compassion. And I think about our Heavenly Father and his desire for people to come to know him, and he sees them afar off and he has compassion on them.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it's just his demeanor of wanting to welcome him home, not wondering what's he's been up to, you know, how could I get him on the straight and narrow?
Right.
None of that. It was all about, I want him back in the fold.
Yeah. That's good. That John MacArthur was speaking, and he had a sermon, The Prodigal Son, and told the story from a different perspective. And I can't remember exactly all the details, but I just remember listening to it, and it was so profound, the different angle that he took with it. But God really used it, at least for me. And I think he might even have that as he's told his radio program, Grace to You. But it was just powerful the way, you know, and I think he might have taken the perspective, one part of the other son.
Right.
You know, and his life and what it was like and the perspective that he had, and that we can learn from it as well.
Yep, definitely.
You know, so anyway, so that's one parable. How about you? Let us know yours. 800-221-9356.
Okay, Joe is bringing up a lot of good things that I did miss without power, like coffee. That's what
That's what I was going to say, is coffee for me.
Oh,
So here's the thing. When we were without power, we have a gas stove, and we have a percolator coffee pot that we can put on the stove. And my wife goes, yes, we can have coffee. And so we got ready to get she was putting water in the percolator and everything. And then she turned around, she goes, the only coffee we have is whole bean. So we didn't have a hand grinder for coffee, so we couldn't grind the coffee.
you should have put the beans in a plastic bag and hit it with a mallet.
Well, I have a mortar and pestle. I said, you want me to do that? And she goes, no, let's just go to the Burger King and get some coffee. I went, okay. So we went and we waited in line. There was a huge line
Oh, I bet.
for all the people that were out of power to get coffee.
Oh, also air conditioning. Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, thankfully, we didn't have a really, really hot day the couple days we were without power. But yesterday, I felt for people. It was warm yesterday.
Well, in our bedroom's upstairs, and so all the heat rises.
Oh, yeah.
And there was no breeze those few nights that we didn't have power, and you appreciate a ceiling fan
Yes.
when you when it's hot. But we didn't have that, so yeah, air conditioning was good. Even a ceiling fan would have been a blessing. Just to get some air moving. We're whiners, aren't we?
We really. It's not hard to see the negative, that's for sure.
That's true. Oh, tricked you. You still got time.
Oh, we still got. Don't trick me like that.
Wasn't on purpose.
I'm a follower.
It wasn't on purpose.
Oh, thank you to everybody that's listening in this morning. Heidi, it's nice to have you with us, and Joe, and
It's nice to be back.
it is.
I thought Jeremy was going to do cartwheels, and I said I was coming back, and we could do mid-morning show coffee break.
And Dave and Jordan and Pat, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Sometimes it's hard for me to find you, but
That's another story for another day.
Yes.
7:09. It is Ken and Deb here. Good morning. Hey, by the way, we're reading through the Bible this year, and we're in the book of Jeremiah, and we're going to be talking about that next hour. So if you want to read along with us, you can get the Reader's Guide.
And here's how you can get it. Text Bible to our phone number, 800-221-9356. And then when you get that link back, you can click on it. It will be today's reading.
Right.
And then if you click on that same link tomorrow, it'll be tomorrow's reading. So
It's
just
amazing how that works.
save the link and you'll be all set for the rest of the year.
That's right. We hope you'll read and share with us what God is giving you through his word. That's always encouraging to hear what God is showing you, because it could be different than what we're getting as well, which is very cool. So please do that. Hey, we're also talking about, speaking of God's word, parables. And what's your favorite parable, or what have you learned from a parable? And David's got something for us. Hi, David.
Hi.
What about your parable?
Well, my favorite parable is the servants and the talents.
Okay.
Tell us more.
I'm talented in abstract art and photography, and I'm always telling my wife, Wanda, I don't want to be like that servant that buried his talent and didn't invest it.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, that's really good. Very
Yep,
good, Dave.
Yep, that is so good.
Thanks for that reminder for us.
And that's my favorite parable.
Very cool. Well, thanks. Well, you guys have a great day. Thanks for checking in this morning.
God bless you.
You as well. 7:11. And so, what have you learned from a parable, one of Jesus' parables, or what's your favorite? We'd love to hear about that.
Our phone number is 800-221-9356. Here's such a comforting song for all of us to know that God's peace is with us today. Here's Hope Darst with Peace, Be Still on Moody Radio's Ken and Deb in the Morning.
Kelly says also the parable of the prodigal son. Yeah, she talks about that old song from Benny Hester, which we have, by the way. Maybe we should play that.
Yeah, we should play
When
that
God
one.
Ran. It's a great song.
Also, the parable of the seeds and the sower, I think, is fascinating because I can see I just want to know, am I good soil, or is
Right.
it, sometimes it seems like the world is choking out my joy, or choking out, or snatching the truth from me. And I've seen myself in all those different kinds of where the seeds fell. I found myself being in those places.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. Mary was talking about still not being able to get WDLM on the home radio. So here's the deal. We found out yesterday, because of the power outage, our transmitter site for the FM signal, where the transmitter is at, there's no power. So we're running off of generator there, but we're having to run on lower power. And so that is one of the reasons why a lot of folks are not able to either hear us clearly or not at all, is because we're having to run on that. So pray that we get power back at the power,
Right.
because we've been going through the fuel on the generator there. So
but it was a miracle yesterday. I
Yeah.
think it was a miracle because we were going to run out of fuel, and Jason said the fuel truck's on its way.
Right.
And it was hard making that happen, but God made a way. So we didn't
Well, it
have to
was
go off the air
interesting.
at all.
as he was there talking with us, and he said, well, if we don't get power or fuel, we could be off the air. And he goes, and we don't know when we're going to get fuel. And we were just
Right.
talking. All of a sudden, then he gets a message
Yeah.
and said, the fuel truck's on the way. So it was
Yeah.
like, woo!
Yes. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
He
That
is
was pretty
making
cool.
a way. So that was definitely a thankful Thursday report to talk about.
That's for sure.
Now, while we are having issues with the FM broadcast, we are still available online if
Yeah.
you have the ability. Go to
And how do
Moody-
they do that, Jeremy?
You can go to moodyradio.org/Quad Cities, Ken, or go to your Moody Radio mobile app, and available on iPhone and Android devices. Carrier data rates may apply.
And come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right. It's a new car! Remember when they used to do that all the time? They'd open up the door, and what is she going to get, Jimmy? A new car! I just love I just always wanted to do that,
You just did.
I know. But it's not quite the same, because I don't have a new car to give away. Oh, man. That would have been fun, wouldn't it?
Oh, it would. I don't know. That's not my thing.
Oh, giving away a new car? I love giving away a new car. That'd be great. Come on, Deb, give it a shot. Try it. You know you want to.
Maybe a little. I think if I was going to choose
No, do it. Say it.
a new car,
Come on. The way you would say it on a game show.
a new car.
There it is. See? I knew you had it in you.
I'd rather be Vanna. If that was going to be on
5
any
seconds.
show, it's Wheel of Fortune.
There is Hope Darst and Peace Be Still on Moody Radio Quad Cities. Thanks so much for being along with us. We're talking about the parables of Jesus. Today we're going to be talking with Dr. Bill Carey coming up here. Marty, excuse me, Bill Carey. Dr. Bill Marty coming up in just a few minutes about his book, Fascinating Bible Studies on Every Parable. And so we thought we'd get your perspective on maybe something you've learned from one of Jesus' parables, or what's your favorite one and why.
Our phone number is 800-221-9356. There is one that's kind of confusing, and Dr. Marty's going to talk about it coming up. There is one that's hard to understand.
Yeah?
And actually a few of them, not really easy to understand. But one particularly has come up in a lot of questions in people's minds, and he's going to address that coming up in a few minutes.
Yeah, and also, speaking of which, if anybody has not checked out the program called The Chosen, in one of the episodes, Jesus is teaching, and he's teaching some parables. And it really stood out to me when the actor was portraying Jesus, was really communicating one of these parables. And I don't know, it hit me in a different way.
Right.
As I was watching
Right.
him deliver that. And it was very cool. So parables are very important, very powerful stories that Jesus used to teach us lessons.
That's
and so
right.
what's your favorite? 800-221-9356.
I really do like The Chosen. I can't wait till season 2 is out.
Yeah,
And
I have 2 episodes left of season 1. We were trying to watch one the other night. I was telling you guys off the air that nothing I tried. It was like I was being fought to get this thing to play on our computer, on my phone. I tried resetting the Wi-Fi, tried resetting my Google Chromecast, my phone, everything. I mean, reset everything, and it just would not play. It kept stopping and stopping and stopping. I tried for 45 minutes, and we finally said, nuts to this. It said, well, watch it another time. But it was so frustrating because I really wanted to see it. Anyway, it is a great show. And really, I love the way that they portray Jesus
I do too.
in it, too, as being so,
Real.
real.
Yeah.
And so,
He's not like a walking, super religious,
right.
standoffish person.
Which
in this.
sometimes they portray in a lot of different
Right.
shows.
Right.
But he was fully man and fully God.
Right.
Right?
That's right.
So.
And you could tell from his looking at people that he saw them with compassion. And that's why I like his portrayal so much, because he can see through all the gunk on the outside.
Yeah. There was one scene when he was teaching and people were gathering around the house outside. And people were inside and outside, and somebody leaned through the window and started giving the answer to one of his questions, and he kind of smiled and looked, and the other people are going, hey, and he's going, no, go ahead, It was so human.
Right.
The way he responded. It was just very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great series, and if you haven't watched it, you should try to look that up. You can get the Chosen app, and then you can watch it right on your phone, and whatever you do to it to put it on the TV.
Whatever you do to it. Yes. You can cast it.
Cast, that's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can cast that onto your smart TV.
And
or
it's
if you
not
have
like this.
No, that's right. Or if you have a smart TV, if they have a smart TV, can they download certain ones? They can download the app on their TV. Can they do that if it's available?
If they've got an app, yeah.
Okay.
Well, that would be even easier.
That might
Should have
be.
done that.
Yeah. I don't have a smart TV. It's a dumb TV. I have to tell it what to do.
We just got one, but we just don't know how to use it.
That's another topic for another day, isn't it? What piece of equipment do you have that's still flashing 12 o'clock, like we used to have on the VCRs? I don't know how to use this thing. They say it has a lot of neat features, but I don't know what it is. Oh.
So, what do you got planned for this weekend, Ken?
I'll tell you coming up because we have 10 seconds, Deb.
It's about that time.
It is.
Speaking of a flashing clock.
7:20. It's great to have you along with us. And yesterday, we had a discussion about jobs and about how to look for new jobs and how to really stay up on networking to get new jobs. And we have another resource that is a free resource for you to advertise your job or to look for a job.
And it's called Job Watch. And it is free for you to post a job opening. So if you are an employer, this is a great opportunity for you. But also, Nancy, our administrator here at Moody Radio, looks around for job openings in the area and posts them on there as well.
Right.
So we have a wide variety of job opportunities for you listed on there. And it's really easy to get to. If you want to this morning, text job to our phone number. You'll get a direct link to that.
That's right. And one thing I do like about the Job Watch section now is that it's separated into categories. So if you're looking for a specific job in a category, whether that be a driver or whatever, construction, things like that, they're separated into categories, which is very handy. Anyway, so yeah, you can text the word job to 800-221-9356 or go to our website, moodyradio.org/Quad Cities. There's a button right there on the main page. News update is on the way after Matthew West and Broken Things on Moody Radio Quad Cities from the Word to Life.
So, if you do have power, I just want to offer some advice that I came across yesterday.
Yeah?
If you're talking to someone who doesn't have power,
Yeah.
and they say, I have no power, do not say, you have power. Power. Wonder-working power in the blood of man, because they might not appreciate it.
Oh. That's a good point, Jeremy.
But I have wanted to play that song all week. I've wanted to hear that because it's been going through my mind.
And depending on what church you heard that song in for the first time or learned it, depends on how you sing it. Because there were some churches that said, there is power, power, wonder-working power. But then you have the other ones, there is power, 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 wonder-working power. You had the different sides going.
And you had an overly enthusiastic
We had an
leader.
overly enthusiastic pastor that just loved that song. It was one of his favorites, and so he'd go, there is power, 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 wonder-working power, and just go, woo, you go, brother. Oh, he was such a great brother.
It's one of those ones that was so fun to sing at a hymn sing when we
Yes.
used to have hymn sings, And Wonderful Grace of Jesus.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was another one.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's another one. Oh, man. Yeah. So this pastor that did the power thing, loved that man. He was the one that before I came to know Christ, he came over to our house, and I was stringing Christmas lights on the house, and he came over and just started talking with me about the Lord. He just came by and just said, hey, I noticed you've been coming to church, and Christmas time coming up, stringing those lights, and he goes, what are you looking forward to this Christmas? And just started talking about
Wow.
using that about talking about the Lord. And then he was, I'm not sure, I can't remember if he was part of the group or not, but the Evangelism Explosion group from our church then came over and presented the gospel to me, and I accepted the Lord. And so I had my best Christmas ever that year. And so, yeah, so that was a great memory of that man that, you know, just,
He knew there was power in the blood,
yeah, that's right.
and he lived it.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
That was very cool. So, anyway, we'll leave you with that story as we wrap up our mid-morning show coffee break today. Go out and tell others about the power of the blood today. And we'll
Amen.
see you Monday morning for the mid-morning show coffee break right here. Have a great weekend.